Morning everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I'm Sean Butler, but there's the one you came to see, Bugsy Malone. She's doing the things that she loves to do on a Sunday. Are you? Are you pursuing health and happiness in all of your endeavours? I really hope so. Guys, please do me a favour, like you always usually do, and only if you like the content, please like the video. If you haven't already joined the now 17,600 and something subscribers that have gone before, welcome back to all of them. Welcome to the new. And there's been a lot of new overnight. I'm guessing it's down to the fan cams that we put out yesterday. I'll be talking about that in a second. But also, whilst you're there, hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on today's topic, which is, of course, a walk and talk digest of Sheffield United. And I'll be honest, I have to be honest, I'm not convinced that my opinion on this is right. I feel like I had my first instinct. I spoke about it after the game on one of the fan cams, or on a couple of the fan cams we did outside the stadium. And then I saw some of the comments and the general vibe and reaction being so positive about everything. And I was like, maybe I've got it wrong. So I went back and I watched the extended highlights again to see if I missed it. And I still don't think I have, but I could be in the minority here. I wasn't that impressed yesterday with the performance. I really wasn't. I thought the first half we weren't clicking. We had a lot of possession, as you'd expect against a team like Sheffield United, who did come to park the bus. They did come to waste time. They did come to utilise every trick in the book to kind of, you know, level out the margins. And I was very impressed with the way that they set themselves up, knowing what they were up against, and it almost worked for them. It almost worked. The major takeaway for me, the huge positive from a Tottenham perspective, is more around the mentality, the never say die, the keep going until the final whistle. When we get the late goal, rather than celebrating it, we get the ball straight back to the halfway line and go again. And we were rewarded for those endeavours. And you look at the stats and it will tell you that we had 70% possession, and if you look at the momentum-ometer thing, then it will basically show that Tottenham had everything bar, you know, a few moments here and there during the game. In the second half, I think they had a little brief period, and I think you'll see 27 shots and 10 on target and 470 corners, and you'll see, you know, 7.8s and 7.7s dotted around the sort of sofa score average ratings. But I'll be honest, it just didn't feel like that at the game. To me, it felt like we weren't clicking. We had a lot of the ball, but a lot of those shots were wasteful. The ones that were on target were hit straight at the centre of the goal, so the goalkeeper wasn't really challenged too much. I don't really remember too many close misses, but I could be wrong. And like I say, I'm happy for you guys to tell me, Sean, you're completely mudded, bro, or you're completely wrong, you've missed it, taken a misstep on this one. And if so, fair enough, I'm happy to, because I'll tell you why. And it may have become apparent when I was doing the fan cams after the show, but it was Nick Barry from Shelfside, it was his turn to drive. So I was from the start of the day, basically, when he picked me up. Before midday, I think I'd had my first can of beer. And then we caught up with a bunch of people. Shout out to Ashmatic, had a drink with him before the game. Shout out to Smithy Smith, met him at half time. Lots of drinks, basically lots of drinks. And obviously after the game, I think that came across a little bit in the fan cams, with me shouting. Obviously that whole new thing, after every home game now, I've got my little spot. As you come out of the South Stand, if you are interested in coming over and participating in the future, as you come out of the South Stand, the long bar, turn right and on the side there is, whilst you're still within the arena, inside the stadium area, but in that kind of area where the food and drinks and everything are, if you turn right, on the right hand side you'll see like a bunch of kind of toilets, outside toilets. So basically I'm over in that corner near there, slightly out of the way, with the stadium in the background, where hopefully the stand and the camera won't get kicked over, and we'll be doing those fan cams. But it was the first time that I had the mic in that setup, so I didn't know how well it was going to pick up the noise, so I might have been shouting a little bit. Plus also talking to strangers for the first time was a new experience, and I absolutely loved it. They all absolutely smashed it. There was the father and the son that we spoke to inside the stadium before we got moved outside by the security, and then outside we got, obviously Nick came in, and Alex, box office, and then there was 2 other interviews, one with a man called James, who absolutely smashed it, and also 2 honeymooners, Justin and Kimberly from Florida. Well, Justin was South African, and they absolutely smashed it as well. Everyone smashed it. So I appreciate them, shout out to them. I also want to say a massive shout out to Mark, who I met in the pub afterwards, who was kind enough to buy me another beer. Probably the last thing I needed at that point, but shout out to him and his sons. Shout out to everyone that I met yesterday. Very cool. But anyway, my point was that maybe, just maybe, my take on the game was skewed, because it's difficult to absorb everything when you've already absorbed a little bit too much. So I don't know, but to me personally, I felt like Maddison wasn't really firing. He had a lot of the ball, a lot of chances. I think he had 4 or 5 key passes. That's the other thing about SofaScore stats. When you are analysing a team that has 27 shots on goal, the obvious outcome of that is that there's probably going to be about 27 key passes to allocate to players, and all of that stuff kind of artificially pushes up their average scores because it sounds really positive. But when some of those shots were just peppered down the goalkeeper's throat, to me it was, I don't know, I just didn't feel like Tottenham had the locksmith ready or figured out and how to break them down. They were very well organised, very disciplined, and you know, they stank the place out. You know, they stank the place out for sure. Bit like Peter Banks, who the referee, honourable mention to him. Hello. Oh, yeah. We're not going to call Peter Banks, we're going to call him Peter Stanks, because he stank the place out with his refereeing. Absolutely atrocious. I feel like the game was out of control at points. I mean, the Sheffield United manager had the audacity to to criticise the ref, you know, very strongly around timekeeping and time wasting, when it was a clear direction from Sheffield United to do that, which is what it is. And the Tottenham fans in the stadium were furious, singing "You don't know what you're doing" every 5 minutes. Their goalkeeper should have had a yellow card for time wasting. It was ridiculous. I mean, there was just so many problems with yesterday's officiating. That doesn't sound right. What's the word? Officiating. There you go. Wow. Wake up. But look, I'm going to go through, if you're still watching this, it's a bit of a ramble, but I do want to go through the players. I thought Vicario, absolutely sensational once again. His distribution, by the way, mwah, he's obviously been working on it. It's obviously a part of the training that he's doing. He's always looking for someone, and he'll just pop the ball with his hand, but he's got the right weighting on it. He does a lot of rolling. His kicking is into the right spaces is brilliant. Very, very impressed with him. Plus that save down low in the first half to keep us in the game with his leg was sensational. And you know what else about him I want to comment on? The winner. I don't know if you've seen the video. When Kulusevski gets the winner in the 102nd minute, he's ran the length of the pitch to celebrate with the team. Things you love to see. The team spirit in this group is off the clock. To have that never say die kind of comeback attitude is new at Tottenham. It's, you know, a couple of years ago we would have settled for the 1-1 draw, or we would have just rolled over and gone, oh, it's one of those days, and blamed the ref, blame the players, blame Levy, blame whatever, one of those kind of things. But no, this team is like, it's not happening. It's just not happening. And Ange still has his unbeaten home record. 50 now, congratulations to him. 50 games unbeaten at home. Stuff you love to see. Shout out to Destiny Udogie, who I did think was brilliant, and I love his ability to press and win the ball back hard at the pitch. You saw it in the late goal. You saw Perisic pressing the keeper that rushed the pass to the right back, and they all swarmed on him, and Udogie got the ball back, slotted it into space, and it was because of that press that Sheffield United weren't really set up and structured for the low block in that moment, which allowed for space for Maddison and Richarlison and ultimately Kulusevski to put in the winner. Kulusevski had a good game, not just because he got the winner, but I thought he looked much better when he came more central, and that's an interesting option I think we can use going forward. I think Pedro Porro looks good, although I think, did he get injured? Did I notice that? Did he go off injured at the end? I hope not, but I think he might have done. Let me know. I haven't heard anything about it, but I thought he had a good game. I think Mickey van der Ven and Romero were good again. The only criticism I have about Mickey van der Ven is aerially he got absolutely dominated by Oliver McBurney, who I know he's an old school target man, but Mickey van der Ven needs to practice on his timing of those jumps, because every single one of them McBurney just came up and flicked on to Cameron Archer, and that to me is, you know, something I think he needs to work on. When the ball's on the floor, the guy is phenomenal, almost flawless. His slide tackles, his timing, it's out of this world. So no criticism at all of that side of his game. Just I feel like, morning guys, I just feel like the aerial stuff is a problem, and will continue to be a problem unless he can find a way to improve, I guess. Romero on the other side was brilliant. Let's move up the pitch quickly. I don't want to be talking forever, taking up your afternoon. I thought Bissouma was once again sensational. The guy is so comfortable on the ball. Like I say, but I'm looking at that role of his. He was brilliant at creating things, but I'm saying all these players played well, but obviously my ultimate takeaway was that we were frustratingly incapable of making it count for, basically 95 minutes. And I guess that kind of conversion problem starts a little bit further up the pitch. But for me, I thought Pape Sarr and Bissouma played really well together again. Those two have cemented themselves in the first team. And like I was saying with Nick yesterday, I feel like Bentancur might have to be Benchancur when he does get fully fit, because I think it'd be difficult to drop Pape Sarr right now, just because a better player on paper has returned to full fitness. I think he has to work his way and earn his way back into the team. But yeah, Bissouma and Sarr, great partnership. And then you go up the pitch, and like I say, you look at James Maddison. This is maybe where you're going to tell me I'm completely wrong, but I thought he had a quiet game. I thought he had a lot of time on the ball. I think he was involved a lot, but ultimately I just don't think his final pass was quite there. In the first half especially, there was lots of miscommunications between the kind of three in the midfield and Manuel Solomon and Kulusevski and Sonny. Second half it was a bit better. Manuel Solomon looks really good. If he can just, as Justin was saying, the South African lad in the post-match fan show, he was saying if in Manuel Solomon we've got a real player. If he can just get that kind of final product right, then I think we have someone that could be really effective, and I completely agree. I agreed with his wife, Kimberly, when she said she was expecting a little bit better from James Maddison. Yeah, and as was I. I think he was just, for me, from what I saw, what I took in, just felt like he just wasn't quite at the races, despite having a lot of time on the ball and a lot of possession and a lot of kind of opportunities. Kulusevski again grew into the game, was much better in the second half. The only probable kind of negative, not negative, but the weaker performance, I guess, in the team for me, probably Sonny. Don't really feel like he had too much success trying to find space. When Sheffield United come and do that low block thing, you need maybe to have a second option to go over the top via crosses. And Sonny obviously can't head the ball, so what he does brilliantly in some areas. Obviously he doesn't do in others. We brought on Richarlison, made a few changes, brave changes when we went 1-0 down. Richarlison and Perisic, to me, is a combination that I think we will probably see a lot more of these double substitutions, or treble substitutions, but those two specifically. Because you've got Perisic, who is just a wonderful crosser of the ball, and you've got Richarlison, whose strongest part of his game, in my opinion, is probably his aerial strength. So that is another weapon that we can put into play if needed in tight games, which is great to see. I'm also really happy for Richarlison. Tough couple of weeks, international duty, tough start to the season for Tottenham, tough general start to his Tottenham career. Comes out and acknowledges he's got these things happening in his personal life and he's struggling mentally. As I said in one of the fan cams, I wasn't expecting to see him play, and I didn't really even support the idea of him saying he needs an extended run of minutes to get himself better. I think that's an unreasonable expectation of someone who's struggling with personal issues. But he came on and he scored the equaliser and set up the winner. I mean, fairy tale stuff. I'm really happy for him. I hope that's going to be the catalyst that kick-starts his career. You know, but like Nick was saying, who was it who was saying it? I think it was Alex that was saying it. Happy for the guy, but expectations from me are still fairly mooted. I don't think he is going to get us sort of 10 goals this season. I'd be surprised if he did, but if he does, fantastic. I'm all for it. Every little helps. Every lot helps. And Brennan Johnson, last person I think I need to mention. What a debut. Came on, I think, was it his first touch of the ball? You see his pace, and what a pass from Pape Sarr over the top into his space, which was clearly something that was kind of outlined as an opportunity against their left back. Fantastic first touch. And the finish, absolutely brilliant. Just a shame it was offside. I still haven't seen how offside it was, but when you have the sort of pace that this kid does, he probably doesn't need to be quite that close to the offside line if you're going to get balls played in over the top or diagonally, because he's going to have the pace, he's going to have the ability to outpace basically everybody else. So, but yeah, really interesting debut. Really happy for him, sad for him it didn't come off, but what a debut it would have been had it counted. And to me, you know, a really good result. As I said though, for me, I think that the result, if I'm a Sheffield United fan this morning, I probably feel very disappointed that we didn't get at least a point out of the game. I think they set up entirely the correct way for what they are doing, for where they are, for who they are, and what they were up against. And I actually think they'll be fine this year, believe it or not. I think most people had them in their bottom three, but I actually think they are a tougher, more well-organised and resilient outfit than people give them credit for. I think they also know, you know, what they're about and what they can realistically, or how they can realistically find positive results. And I think if they keep playing the way they did yesterday, or doing what they did yesterday, I think eventually they'll get some reward for it. Even though it's frustrating to watch, you know, they've got to do what they've got to do, right? By hook or by crook. As for Tottenham, we move forward now. We go to Arsenal next week. Massive game, absolutely huge. I can't wait to discuss it all week with you. Yeah, 6-pointer. Is it a 6-pointer? It's certainly a 6-pointer when it comes to bragging rights. If we were to get the result, then I think we are. I think everyone will then probably start to reset expectations. Morning, guys. You right?
Yeah, mate.
Good result, wasn't it? Good result.
Good.
So yeah, look, we'll talk about that during the week, but I think we can take this momentum and move forward. For me, though, I do think that there were challenges breaking down the low block team, and I think the stats, in my opinion, will flatter to deceive a little bit. But I could be wrong. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm happy. If everybody universally says, no, Sean, we absolutely dominated them, we should have won 5-0 or 5-1, then I'll take it on board. But from where I was sitting and what I was watching, I didn't think we were particularly special yesterday at all. Like, share and subscribe, guys. And as always, oh, by the way, sorry, completely forgot. By the way, please follow, please subscribe to our new channel. Henry Wright and myself have decided to double up and start a new channel called Shameless Football. The link is in the title and the description. Please subscribe to it. Over 1,000 subscribers already. It is the replacement for Sean Butler TV. I'm going in with Henry and we're going to be talking about all other things in football that will include Tottenham, but won't be limited to Tottenham. So, you know, Champions League watch-alongs and Europa League stuff, Conference League stuff, weekly predictions, games, you know, top fives of this, top fives of that, kind of broader topics that will be interesting. I personally am looking forward to dropping some stuff about the finances in football that don't relate to Tottenham, but are really interesting to me, like the Everton takeover, all that sort of stuff. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things. So if you haven't already, do me a favour and drop the subscribe button, a little squeeze on the Shameless Football, as well as on Spurs Talk Show. Me and Bugsy wish you a wonderful Sunday. I'll see you later on. Bye bye.